history. You hear about this and you read about that. I don't want to look at Grumpy Cat. This is how to watch TV. What's that I hear? You hear the Lost finale. It's not your fault that you can't see what we see. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Chronologically Lost with Joel and Jenna. My name's Joel.
And my name is Jenna. We're brought to you by Comeuppance Network, and you can find all of our social media links at thisishowtowatchtv.com.
So, last episode, huh? Are all of your Lost questions answered at this point? As far as like stuff that you maybe didn't get the first time kind of thing? Like stuff that this made clearer?
I think so.
Yeah? I don't really have any follow-up question to that. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. I cried the whole episode.
Right. I was blubbering for this one. Ridiculous. Can I just mention how wonderful the music was?
So
There was so many beautiful scores.
Yes.
It's like, this is why I love Lost.
Yeah,
it's so,
it was really, really good.
It's partially the music. I mean, that's a big part of it. So obviously this, in theory, would be our last episode. However, somebody has suggested that maybe we do some of the other fan edits. They're very short.
Oh.
Like one of them is 4 episodes, and it's season 6 without the sideways.
But didn't we just watch season 6?
I don't know.
without the
Maybe
sideways?
it's possible. Like it's possible that any of the suggestions are stuff that we've sort of seen this way. But I might give it a watch and see if it's worth talking about. If there's anything new to it, anything, I don't mean new footage, but if they frame it in a different way, maybe it'll be different or, I don't know.
I was all excited
People have done
being
stuff
the
with,
last.
Right. People have done stuff with the first 3 Star Wars movies and cut them down and made it one movie out of it to make it better, so to speak, because the first 3 are generally considered to be terrible. Jar Jar Binks movies 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, but aren't they just because the like CGI is really bad and all that from
No, it
being
was
old?
genuinely just no. I'm talking about from the 2000s.
Oh,
when they came
I'm
back
sorry.
the prequels.
It started with 4, 5, and 6, and 1,
Right.
2, and 3 you didn't like. People didn't like.
Right. So people cut that down and made something called the Phantom Edit, where it's a
the
shorter.
last 2 have been absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
so.
I haven't seen either of those 2 yet.
they're
I
so good.
can't make it through 5. I've tried so many times. I keep falling asleep.
Oh, I don't think I've ever watched 4, 5, or 6.
No?
Jeremy and I went on like early in our dating. We went to see either 1, 2, or 3 in the theater at like opening night at the midnight showing.
Right.
Great idea for Jenna, Miss Sleepyhead.
Oh,
Like,
instantly out?
I was like, oh, the credits were really great. Like the opening ones.
Yeah. I loved it so much.
I fell right asleep.
So we're talking episode 101 of Chronologically Lost, Epilogue 5. So naturally it begins with Jack's eye opening. I love that we went right
Him
there.
in bed, waking up.
He's bleeding from his neck again.
They really accentuated his neck bleeding in this episode.
Right. It was to make him remember why his neck was bleeding.
The whole episode? Like there were like 3 or 4 different cutbacks.
Right.
To where it would have been a flash and then his neck was bleeding again.
But those would have been specifically Jack flashes.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the episodes wouldn't have had that in it. So they would have been reinforcing
No, they were
it.
just reinforcing, yeah.
Right.
I get it.
David made breakfast, a.k.a. poured some cereal.
Yeah.
He asked if Jack is coming to the concert.
Now, he did go above and beyond on making breakfast. He took the milk out of a normal milk jug and poured it into a glass pitcher because everybody does that.
Right. For this, well, that's so they don't have branding and it looks better on camera.
I get that it looked better, but all I could think was like,
Who
all
the
the
fuck does that?
germs.
Right.
How do you like keep the dust out of it?
Who's not putting a plate over the top of it to
I
keep
mean, like, ugh.
anything floating around?
I know.
It's just
There's
gonna
like,
pop
why is
in
there a hair in the milk jug?
Yeah. He asked if Jack is going to the concert, and he's like, "Is your mom going?" He's like, "Don't be weird, dude. Come on."
Because he loves her still, or
Who?
Jack?
I don't think so.
That's kind of what I got. Like, don't hit on mom at the party tonight.
Don't hit on her. I just figured he meant typical parental arguing kind of stuff where it was just like, oh yeah.
I mean, I get that too, but it kind of was like, don't be weird.
Yeah,
don't hit on mom at the party.
Don't be all sexual like you normally are, Dad.
God.
Don't be all handsy. Claire comes in and they both help her with breakfast. And then Jack gets a call from Oceanic Airlines about his father's coffin, and it's Desmond pretending to be Oceanic Airlines. Then we go to the opening Lost.
So Desmond knew that they found the body or the coffin. So did they call him to let him know that that they found it? Like, why?
They're all dead, Jenna.
The airline, he filed a complaint that
But they're all dead. This isn't real.
I know, but they got off the plane and he filed a fake complaint that the fake coffin was fake missing. So you'd think that there would be a real phone call for the fake stuff that's,
That was confusing.
I know.
I mean, yes, but the coffin did end up there.
I get that.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, somebody
it's a
called
construct, though. It's
Desmond to let him know that the coffin was found.
Desmond is the only one that's woke in this world, so to speak. He's the only one who gets it, that knows what's going on.
But why wouldn't Charlie have already known? Because he flashed and saw Claire first.
Right.
So why is he not understanding?
Because he doesn't understand that they're dead.
Just drunk and high? And...
Possibly,
okay.
Yeah. Speaking of... Desmond watching Locke get out of his van. He starts the car, and then Ben confronts him. And Desmond starts whooping his ass, and he flashes. That's when Ben starts to remember stuff. But he was always beat up looking. I thought that was great. A great touch that one last time his face is going to be all fucked.
Always.
Ben says he won't let him hurt Locke, and he says he's here to help Locke let go. And he asks who Desmond is, and that's when he starts whooping on him. And Desmond leaves. Ben's recollection of the island wasn't so world destroying for him.
Well, he was remembering, first of all, I don't even think that he remembered raising Alex in this scenario. That's
what I mean. It wasn't
remembered
it was just Desmond whooping his ass.
Beating him up, and they weren't even on the island. That would have been when they were...
No, they were...
they were at the docks.
Right.
When Ben shot Desmond, or after, or was that right before he shot him?
I'm not sure.
It was at that time where... Right. So it would have been... it was on the docks. They were definitely not on...
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
They were not on island. So it was like an epiphany for Ben remembering Desmond, but I don't think that he remembered anything or much else at that specific time. Okay.
In the nurse's office, this really pissed me off because the nurse was like fixing up his face and she calls him Mr. Linus and he's like, it's doctor. And she goes, okay. And just walks away.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You get to not nurse? Because if anybody should understand why a doctor would want to be given the respect of a doctor, it would be a nurse, you would think.
Because he's not a doctor in the form of like Jack Shepherd doctor. He's a doctor in the form of, I have my doctorate degree and in maybe psychology or something along those lines. He's not... a medical doctor.
Oh, so I think that's why she was not a doctor.
I think that's why she was being snooty, and the fact that that was purely that she doesn't respect him. She's like, oh, okay, yeah. Well.
Right, but then I just found it super shitty.
It was very shitty.
He was simply saying, I've earned this title.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, fix yourself.
I do know several people like that, though.
What?
That have their doctorate, and they want to be called doctor, whatever their last name is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can't begrudge them for that.
No.
I mean, it seems a little snooty. However...
Like, how much does that cost? How much did that cost you?
Yeah, to be called that? Right.
Right. You can call me Jenna.
I knew a guy that went to school and was like $60,000 in debt to film stuff. Went to film school. Didn't have anything when he came back. There's nothing. It's not like they set you up with jobs.
No.
He's in the exact same position I am, and he spent $60,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sucks. That's terrible.
So Locke asks Ben what happened, and he tells him about his incident with Desmond, and he mentions the Flash when he was getting beat up. Locke starts calling the cops, and then Ben said he believes Desmond was trying to help him let go, and then Locke hangs up. So Locke remembered Jack just saying that.
Yeah.
And thought, So he was connecting those dots.
So now we don't have to report this because the crime didn't actually happen. It's like, what? Why are you not... Still call Sawyer, have him come down.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Still call Sawyer. At LAPD, Desmond asked to see a detective. Miles is getting dressed for the concert at his dad's museum.
So in this death, he was raised by his dad? Okay.
I'm not even selling that question because I like the way you asked it. It was very funny. In this death, don't ever.
I hope in our death that we're raised by our real dad, because Dad always claims that he's not our dad.
Oh, so there's another guy?
No, maybe he always says, no, when he says, I love you, you're my favorite. You're my favorite daughter. And I'm like, I'm your only daughter. He's like, you don't know that.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, like he's banging on the side.
He's sleeping around, Dad?
He's got a Claire somewhere else out there.
Ew.
Not that he's banging Claire. That he would have a daughter. Anyway,
I got it.
Let's Sawyer opts out of the concert after hearing Charlotte's going to be there. Desmond confesses to the hit and run and beating up Ben, and they put him in a holding cell with Sayid and Kate.
That was probably like a big epiphany when we saw it the first time. Like, he's in the cell with the two of them.
Well, I mean, I don't know if at this point, I still didn't know what was going on.
I don't think any of us did.
Until the scene with Christian Shepherd, I didn't know what the fuck was going on in the sideways. No. Nothing about it made sense. I didn't.
Especially the island under the water.
Right.
Then we were all just like,
all those
we're done.
teases
I have
fucking
no
with
idea.
us. Back at the school, Ben's walking out and struggling with his arm sling. Alex helps him, and then she says he's the nicest guy ever and offers him a ride home. And her mom is Roussea, obviously.
I know. So if he flashed and really remembered this, then he would have been...
Right, he would have been like, what the fuck? Why are they inviting me to dinner? I love Alex invites him to dinner, and then Danielle goes, we're going to bring you, even if we have to kidnap you.
Yeah.
Because he kidnapped her baby. At Rousseau's house, she thanks Ben for giving her someone to cook for other than Alex. Her father died when she was 2.
Why not 4?
What was his name?
Or 8? Robert.
So, just in this reality, he just died?
Well, yeah.
She shot him on the island, obviously.
That's because he got sick.
Right.
Maybe he also had like a heart problem or a brain tumor or...
So she says that's why she's probably so attached to Ben. You're the closest thing to a father she's ever had. And then Ben sees her working and gets choked up. And Danielle asks if he's okay, and he's like, I'm sure it's the onions. Just playfully dismissing the fact that he's crying. And she goes, I'll put less in next time. Aw.
That was really sweet. Are they going to kiss?
I was like, damn it. They're getting me, because that's fucked up if they were supposed to be a couple. And he blew it by stealing the kid.
Why would they be a couple?
But they are a couple now. Oh, I love how you can just look at your watch now instead of your phone.
It's amazing.
Do you like it? Do you like the Apple Watch?
I wish I could type responses on it.
You can say them and speak them.
Right now I can't.
Whatever.
I'll call you later. Shh.
You could say that. Okay, after that we go to the hospital. Okay, so as far as Danielle and Ben, I think that's possible they could have...
they could have been happy together.
He didn't really have somebody that he was infatuated with other than Juliet. I mean, he didn't have anybody he had a chance with.
But he wasn't with Juliet in the death scenario.
Correct.
So she was already taken clearly.
Right.
So
twice.
Yeah.
At the hospital in Jack's office, Locke wheels in, and there's a picture of Jack, his dad, and David. And Locke tells Jack he threw his card away, but then he got hit by a car and ended up with Jack in the hospital, and you still wanted to fix me, but I didn't want to be fixed. And then he tells him about Desmond saying he was trying to help him let go, and he's like, that's exactly what you said to me the last time we saw each other. And what if this is happening for a reason? Maybe you're supposed to fix me. And then Jack, I mean, this is the epitome of Jack and Locke.
Yeah,
you're
constantly.
mistaking coincidence for fate. And John's like, I think I'm ready to get out of this chair. I mean, it's all like cool shit. but I don't know. I don't think it feels as hollow as it should. Like, because we know they're dead, like it should mean nothing, but it's not. It doesn't mean nothing.
Oh no,
because of all of the stuff in life.
Yeah.
You know, because of all that shit. I don't know.
I loved every minute of this episode.
It was really good. In jail, they're all going to county now, and Kate asks Sawyer to let her go.
I don't remember a lot of this.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like, I don't really. Looks like your son at the door.
That's Sawyer, everyone. Hey, Sawyer. Could you come here for a second? Shut the door, please.
Were you playing dress up with Maddie?
No.
What were you doing?
Maddie was playing my face.
Come here.
Oh.
Come back over here. I want you to say hi to the podcast.
Oh, you don't have any socks on. Oh, my God.
This is the last episode of our Chronologically Lost podcast, and you're named after somebody in Lost. So I just want you to come up and say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Don't talk about your other stuff. What do you think about Lost?
This one says...
What?
What?
No, what do you think about
You're
Lost?
not supposed to read his notes.
I'm not reading my notes. I'm asking you what you think.
It's very violent.
Very violent.
It's very violent.
Yes.
That's it? That's your only critique?
And very, very offensive.
Okay, get out of here. I don't like you anymore. Come in here, tell me Lost is violent and offensive. Nobody's ever described Lost as violent and offensive. You're offensive, and I'm about to get violent with you. Get out of here. Get.
Oh, Jeremy texted me to say Sawyer's walking home.
Oh, well, Sawyer says, Sawyer, shut the door. Kate asks Sawyer to let her go, and he's like, I can't, I'm a cop. She's like, you don't look like a cop. Or you don't seem like a cop. Doesn't shut the door.
He's a jerk face. He's very violent.
I find the fact that he didn't shut the door violent and offensive. Super professional last episode. If you've made it this far,
That's okay.
why? Anyway.
Why?
In the transport van, Desmond says it's time to leave, and they both look at him like he's a retarded person.
Yeah.
The driver already knows where to stop, but he needs them to trust him. After I set you free, I'll need you to do something for me. And they're like, yep, sure. Then Anna Lucia lets him out, and Desmond offered her a bunch of money. Hurley's car, the orange one, is next to the van. What?
What'd you say?
I'm podcasting.
No, it's a fire alarm.
I didn't say anything about a fire alarm.
What fire alarm?
I don't know.
I said Sawyer leaving the door open was violent and offensive. I asked him to describe Lost, and he said it was violent and offensive. So I was just calling back to that.
Oh,
Shut the door, please.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Apparently, this is everybody join the podcast day.
Her ear pods in. She's like,
Yeah, they
what?
like, yeah, they like
Did
stick
you say
out.
something? I wasn't listening.
So Hurley's orange car was next to the transport van, and then he pulls up in the yellow Hummer, and he's like, "Oh, you didn't tell me Anna Lucia was going to be here." So Hurley is also woke, so to speak.
He remembers, yeah.
He knows what's going on here, and she's like, "Do I know you, Tubby?" He's like, "No," and gives her $135,000. No significance to that I can think
Why not
of.
142 or 108,000?
That would have been better, yes. Because that stuff doesn't affect them here. It's a different thing.
The numbers, yeah. But
She's
it
not
still meant something to all of them. Maybe not Anna Lucia, but it meant something to the show.
She's not coming with because she's not ready yet, Desmond says. And Sayid goes with Hurley, Kate with Desmond, and he gives her a dress for a concert.
What he meant to say was Anna Lucia doesn't matter, so she's not coming.
Right. That's not what he
Nobody
meant.
likes her. She's not even there at the end.
He didn't mean to say that. That was what he was talking about, though. He was talking about then. He knows this is all heading to the church. And he knows the group of people that are going to be at the church, and Anna Lucia is not one of them. Much like Ben isn't one of them. Even though they're all part of this. Ben is going to hang out with...
Ben not go in at all?
No, he's going to hang out with Alex and Danielle.
Oh, I get it.
We see an oceanic thing, and they unload the coffin. And then at the hospital, Jack is looking at Locke's x-rays. Ben is making tea for his dad, presumably. I don't know. They didn't show him. Maybe he's just making it for himself. At the hospital, Locke is going in for surgery, and Sawyer walks past his broken mirror that he punched.
Yeah.
Like they haven't replaced it yet.
They would. I mean, why would they? It's not like police departments are rolling in the dough. I mean, they're like, oh, way to go. You broke that. So, sorry.
So at the church, an Oceanic van pulls up, and Desmond offers to sign for the cargo. Kate asks who died, and then he tells her Christian Shepherd. And she's like, seriously? Christian Shepherd? Because the religious connotations at a church. She asks why they're here, and he's like, no one can tell you. I never
even put that together before.
Before that moment?
Before just now. I was like, why is she making fun of his name? Like Christian Shepherd?
Because he's a Christian shepherd, so he's shepherding people into the church.
Yeah, I didn't put it
and
together.
He literally does that at the end. He leads them all into the light. Yeah, Christian shepherd. No one can tell her why she's here, and he's not talking about the church. His name is Desmond Hume, and he's her friend, and he wants to leave. I mean, I love the way he's acting in this because he's not being a dick about it, really, but he's also like, look, you got to figure this out on your own. Like, he could just
keep coming with me, a complete stranger.
And put on this skimpy black dress, please.
Now, the dress was an ode to Ben, was it not? Like, here, you're going to wear this dress for dinner.
Well, it was a sundress. I mean, I guess.
I mean, how many...
Okay,
I've never in my life had somebody be like, wear this. We're going out. Never.
No? Hold on, I got to text Jeremy real quick.
No, I don't want that.
No, you're definitely going to have that.
I don't want anybody telling me what I have to wear.
Make sure to buy Jenna a dress.
No.
For an occasion. And give it to her minutes before you leave.
No, don't do that. Text Jeremy. Don't do whatever Joel is telling you to do.
I'm going to say, don't buy Jenna a dress, and then so he'll do the thing. I'll just add don't if you tell him to not do it. I'm going to tell him,
do whatever Joel's telling you to do.
Okay, then I'm going to not add don't. And then it'll just be the
Stop it.
Flightline Motel. Hurley and Sayid go to pick up Charlie.
Flightline was so... Was it the Flightline when they killed the people? Was it that? Maybe. What it was called? I don't remember it ever being called that.
Flightline as a way to tie in the plane crash.
Yeah.
Hurley and Sayid go to pick up Charlie, and Hurley tries to jog his memory with a tranquilizer gun. And he's like, if you stick with me, you'll be happy you did. Charlie answers the door. He's shit-faced and doesn't know who Hurley is. And Hurley's just cheesing. He's like, what the fuck are you laughing about? What are you smiling about? And
why are you so soddy happy?
Yeah, why are you so sodding happy? Yeah. Charlie doesn't care about the concert, and Hurley says playing this show is the most important thing he'll ever do. And he's like, meh. So he tranquilizes him. Gives him a meh. Meh. And then he puts him in the back of the Hummer, and he's like, what was that? That was Charlie. Yeah. We go to the concert venue, and Miles arrives and sees Sayid in the Hummer as Hurley drives away with him. And Sawyer gets a call from Miles about that, and he's like, yeah, the van never showed up at County. And so Sawyer's going to go check on Sun because she was the person that made it out alive.
The lone survivor?
Well, not loans, yeah.
As far as they're going after her. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Sun.
Right. No, she was incidental in that. I mean, Kimi's dead, so.
Thank goodness. Whew.
Kimi's double dead because he died in real life and then he died here. So what does that mean for him then? Do you think he just like wakes up the next day and does it over again until he gets it right?
I don't know. Maybe he has to wait till everybody else moves on and then he can like wake up. I didn't think about that before. How come we didn't talk about that? That he died? Extra died?
Yeah, he double died.
He double died. Like I double dog die you.
Yeah, he double dog died. So if you hashtag double dog died... What is that?
Write that shit down.
What does that mean?
Hashtag double dog die.
I mean, I'll put it in here.
No, because I thought you were adding them to every freaking episode, and 101 episodes later, I was very disappointed.
No, I never wrote them down. Yeah,
why not?
Because I didn't think I needed to.
Oh. I thought you were putting them in the comments.
No.
Yeah, I'm super disappointed.
I was hoping that people would comment it.
No. I mean, it should have been like hashtag... Borfer, hashtag...
No, come on, name another one.
Hashtag future suture.
Hashtag future suture.
I mean, anything. Hashtag... There was something with a spear. Hashtag spear something.
Fish spear?
Hashtag fish spear.
Hashtag fish spear was one, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, there was a lot. That was just...
Well, you know how you could watch. You know how you can find out about them. Watch all the old episodes, start to finish. Not of the show, of us talking about it. Yeah.
So, but why can't? I thought you would have done that. I thought you were taking notes of our things while we were talking every time.
If you're watching this, the 101st episode, feel free to go back to all the episodes you've probably already watched and comment the hashtags that we said.
That'd be great. I need them. I would really like to know what they are.
Just listen to this whole podcast again from the beginning.
101 hours. You got nothing.
Fuck's sake. In the hospital, Jin and Sun talk about how she's feeling. If everything is all right, they can leave soon. And Juliet Carson comes in. I don't remember that ever being her name. She was Juliet Burke because she married that douchebag guy.
Yeah, so Carson's her maiden name that she went back to after she divorced Jack.
So she realizes they don't speak English.
And that's a lot of effort to like change your name back to your maiden name. Like you must really hate someone. Like
if you got divorced, why wouldn't you be Jenna Henderson?
Why would you not stay Jenna Visitis? All my kids are that.
Well,
like,
Kenzie's not.
Well, she'll get married soon, and her
that'll
name
be taken out of the equation.
It doesn't even matter. I mean, like, it's just a waste of time. How long it took for me to change my name from one to the other, not doing it again.
Okay, well, I think that for girls, your last name should also be your middle name. I know you did something similar with Maddie.
I tried. But my middle name was too long. I didn't want to get rid of Lorraine because I love Jenna Lorraine.
But if you were Jenna Henderson Visitis.
Jenna Lorraine Henderson Visitis is what I was going to do. But
what, Lorraine Henderson?
Lorraine Henderson is my middle name.
That's retarded.
Yes, but the middle name like columns on the thing at the Social Security office were not long enough for Lorraine Henderson. And I would have had to like...
Lori Henderson or something?
I would have had to mail in a request form, and it was just like we were going on our honeymoon and we needed all the paperwork, and I was like, forget it.
Well, what I'm saying is that I should have named River Henderson.
So she would always just have Henderson?
So she would always have Henderson in her name because it's going to change someday or not.
Listen,
but still.
It's a name.
I know, but it's...
I'm so... it took me a few months, and then I was over it. Like, I was totally fine. I mean...
Over what? Not having Henderson in your name?
Yeah. I mean, it says... It's very weird to sign Henderson now. Like... Yeah. And Mackenzie's a Henderson, and Madeline has Henderson as her middle name.
Right.
So...
But Madeline should have had Visitis as her middle name.
No.
Because eventually she's going to be Madeline Henderson something else.
She will. Unless she doesn't get married.
Unless she's just so annoying, she doesn't ever.
What?
Stop! They start doing the ceremony.
Oh
she's
my
just
God.
Gonna
she's like, forget it. I don't want to get married.
So, anyways, Juliet does the sonogram after she realizes they don't speak English, and Sun starts to flash. She remembers. Jin doesn't yet, and he looks at the screen and flashes too. They both remember their death, and. They realize how stupid they were to not see Ji-yeon.
Or to get their asses out.
I mean, Juliet asks if they would like to know if it's a boy or a girl, and in perfect English, Sun says it's a girl, and Jin adds her name as Ji-yeon, and she's like, "Oh, for the record, you two can speak English just fine." Like they didn't know they could speak,
right?
You know, and it was,
they didn't know before.
I mean, when he said her name was Ji-yeon, I started blubbering.
I mean, they killed themselves, so I was kind of irritated.
It is tough to feel the sympathy that I do for other characters for them. No joke.
I know.
Because you literally decided to die.
Yeah, I mean, no, she didn't. I get that, but like...
She did by getting trapped behind the stupid thing.
That wasn't her fault.
Yeah, it was. Totally her fault.
He could have left her and raised the daughter.
It was Sawyer's fault.
So how come the daughter's not there in death mode with them?
Because she's pregnant with them.
She's still alive?
She's pregnant with Ji-yeon in this construct
in real
because
life.
it's 2004 still. To them, it's 2004. She had the baby after 2004. She wasn't pregnant. She didn't know she was pregnant for a while on the island.
I know.
She told Jin way sooner because she got shot. She knew.
But she wasn't pregnant when she got on the island.
Yes, she was. Oh, wait, no, she wasn't. That's right.
Yeah. It was
So
way
this
after.
is they just added the
Technically,
pregnancy
they've
in.
been like after the plane crash for like a month now, and they just
It
forgot.
hasn't been a month. It's
It
been
has
6 days.
It's definitely been a month.
been
They forgot.
Somebody said 5 days ago.
Somebody was wrong.
Somebody wasn't wrong. The only one that was wrong was the prop department on the Claire sonogram.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Jack talks to Locke, and he tells him to call him John. He jokes about there being a chance he could kill him, and he's like, "I'll see you on the other side." Good foreshadowing there. John asks if his dad ever turned up, and he's like, "Yeah, they actually called me about it today. That's weird that you know that," and asked that question. And he said he hopes that brings him some peace, and he's like, "If I could fix you, Mr. Locke, that's all the peace I'll need." So we're supposed to believe that Jack all of a sudden is a one and done. If he fixes Locke, he'd be good. He's never satisfied. He's never been in his real life. Fixing his wife wasn't enough. He needed to do more.
That's because she was a bitch. I mean,
okay.
I get it.
Yeah, no, fair enough, I guess. I mean, she was just wrong for Jack, I think.
Right. They were not meant to be together.
Yeah. Yeah, she was.
But in this...
She was going to end up with Phil Dunphy anyway.
Death sideways, Jack's supposed to be with Kate? That's what we're supposed to believe?
What do you mean? He was with Juliet. You're meaning
this vicious quadrupled circle that's going on. But...
Yes, Jack was meant to be with Kate.
Okay.
Jate. Yeah.
Okay.
Juliet and Jack talk about the concert. We find out she's the mom, officially. And Jack says they should take Aunt Claire. Jack and Juliet were apparently married. Sawyer walks past Juliet, and he says he's here to see Sun. Then outside a bar, Hurley isn't allowed to tell Sayid why they're here. They're following someone's rules. Hurley's? As the new Jacob?
God's rules? Because they're dead.
But do you think Hurley would know that? I mean, Hurley knows they're dead, but it feels like another set
Jacob's
of rules.
because Jacob has been dead for a long time.
But then it
They're
would be
in
Hurley's.
purgatory, so it's...
Okay, I guess it could be God's rules, so to speak.
It's what it has to be, because it wouldn't be Man in Black or Jacob, because they've been gone for a long time, and now Hurley...
It doesn't really make sense for
Hurley
Hurley
to They're not on
say,
the island, so it's not like they're Hurley's rules. So this is like they're dead, and they're trying to move on past... Although,
I wonder how
moving
they know
on
they
past...
can't...
How do you move on past dead?
Because
once you're dead...
Because you said it, they're in the purgatory
They're in
area.
purgatory, so they're kind of in limbo, and they need to move on to
accepting their death, and
either
then,
heaven or hell, or darkness,
or whatever happens,
or whatever happens.
Let me be very clear. In my scenario, where there's just darkness, there's no middle purgatory where we get to find ourselves.
You're just asleep
it's
forever.
Literally just the way it was before you were born. Black.
No, and then you are coming out of a new vagina.
Okay,
and
you
then,
know what? I don't know how many vaginas I want to come out of. That's... Hurley says he trusts Sayid because he thinks he's a good guy. And he's like, I know people tell you you're not, but you can't let people tell you who you are. You got to decide for yourself. And Sayid's like, you don't know anything about me.
You don't know me. Neither does Nadia.
Officially, the only impression I can do is Mark gay scoos. That's the only impression
But he's so good.
Hey, Joe. Hey, it's Mark. Gay scoos. Is Andy Brown, please? I mean, it's fucking amazing.
That's really good.
I had an interview with him today.
Oh my
His
God.
son, he called Mark. Hey, Joe, you crazy, man. You go into those schools? I saw both those videos, Joe. It's ridiculous. So
That's the best.
he called me about those. It's the only impression I can do. It's amazing.
Well, you're gonna have to listen.
Then he's like, his son. I hear some murmuring, and then his son's on the phone. Hey, this is Mark Campbell,
Mark Jr.
Yeah, I mean, essentially. And he goes, I was wondering if you want to do an interview. I find the stuff you do fascinating. I do a blog. So, okay, fine. So I met him at...
So you took Dad with you so that Joel and Joel Jr. and Mark Jr.
Right, that would have been the best. Mark did come with him, by the way.
Yes.
And sat there for an hour while we talked in the restaurant that I hate more than any restaurant.
What?
Johnny's Round the Clock.
Where is that? On 30?
It's on 30. It's not the same one it used to be. However, I hate that place and always will because of a lie that Dad told me back in the day.
It was open round the clock?
If you get A's and B's, you can pick where we go to dinner. And I picked somewhere else. I don't remember where, but he fucking made me go to Johnny's round the clock. So I decided I hated that place forever.
Oh my God. Let it go.
I mean, fine. Maybe
Let
I will.
it go, Joel. Let it go.
Maybe I'm ready to get out of this chair.
Oh, maybe.
No, fuck that. I was angry. I worked my ass off and I couldn't even pick the place.
A's and B's are so hard. Turn in your homework. That's all you have to do.
I mean,
We're smart
you say
enough.
that.
I mean, seriously.
It wasn't just that easy.
It's plenty easy to just turn in your homework. And
I
then
don't
you get
remember.
A's and
It
B's.
was 20 years ago. 23 years ago.
20?
25 years ago,
No
maybe.
way.
I was maybe in 6th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm old as shit. I'm 37.
God, you're
I'm
old.
going to be 38 this year.
Oh, my pizza
Next
rolls
year.
are getting cold.
They've been cold. Okay. So someone's getting beat up outside the bar. Shannon runs out and he just throws her into the dumpster, which was hilarious.
That's so
I don't know
good.
why. Sayid ends it and then he touches Shannon and flashes. They both remember. Sayid? Shannon? Boone tells Hurley he just got
But
beat
Boone's like
up.
happy for them. I thought he was fucking her recently.
No, he's
like
part
what-
of this
I mean,
now. He knows.
I guess.
Boone has
but-
been awoken.
Ugh.
And so Hurley sent him to go do his
I
bidding.
get it. Go get your sister, bring her
Yeah,
here,
it was
but
a
don't
pain in
stop
the
and have
ass.
sex with her at a hotel first.
Sayid and Shannon kiss, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we go to the
Got it.
concert. Claire, David, and Juliet are in line, and Juliet gets a call from the hospital. So she's out. Or back at the hospital
see you later.
anyway.
Not like, are you good with your Aunt Claire that you just met yesterday? Like,
Charlie's passed out backstage. Charlotte wakes up. Charlie and Charlotte are supposed to start with the same
Charlotte.
first 5 letters. are the
Charlotte.
same. Charlotte tries to wake him up. There was a note on his chest. Daniel Widmore's there. Charlotte talks to him, and he introduces himself. What?
Didn't see Daniel or Mr. Widmore at all.
We did not see Charles Widmore anymore. No, he's out of it at this point.
He gone.
Yeah.
He's on a new show. Where was he at?
The OC.
No, the OC was before Lost. God.
David and Claire join Desmond and Kate at table
27.
3.
Just kidding.
Pierre Chang introduces the concert, and it's Daniel Widmore accompanied by Drive Shaft. So Daniel plays the piano, and Charlie spots Claire, and he just stares a hole through her, and she's like...
Right. She's like, you know what? I'll just go have a baby.
Right.
Instead.
She
This is
starts
really
having
awkward.
contractions and goes back. Constractions. She goes backstage looking for a bathroom,
And Charlotte comes back.
And Kate follows her. Chait helps her. Eloise tells Desmond she told him to stop this, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I chose to ignore you." He should have done that in the Flashes Before Your Eyes episode, when he could have bought the ring for Penny, but she told him, "You don't do that."
Yeah.
He should have ignored her then. He's like, when they know, then they're leaving, and she asks if he's going to take her son, and he's like, "No, not with me."
Which was sad.
Well, again, she's reliving. She's trying to make up for the lost time. She knows.
I know. So has she always known that, like, okay, well, when I kill him and then I can just kill myself and then, it'll be okay because then I'll raise him and then we'll die and then I'll raise him again and then we'll just hang out there in purgatory forever.
I don't think that she knew that she was going to get a do-over in the afterlife with him.
This isn't the afterlife, though.
This is the afterlife. It's afterlife.
I get that, but
Okay.
this isn't like their forever afterlife.
Correct. That
This
doesn't have
is,
to be.
Like,
there can be an after meal
This is a
snack, and then
limbo.
there can also be cereal later. There's 2 after
that
meals.
sounds really good.
Right, doesn't it? So you see what I'm saying? Claire is having the baby, and Charlie's there, and he goes to get water and blankets, and Kate is going to deliver the baby again.
Shocker.
They're both scared. I mean, the way they paralleled the stuff on the island was beautiful.
Really good. Really
like,
good. Like
all of the stuff that they came up with as ways to Flash. The way they did Desmond and Ben. I mean, what the fuck? I barely
They're
remember
fighting.
him beating him, So let's see. So she needs Claire to push because she can't do it without her. And then Kate flashes to the island. And she did the worst of all of the... No, she was like...
It was terrible.
It was awful. Aaron is born, and then Claire flashes to Kate handing her Aaron, and she goes, "It's Aaron."
It's
Oh my
Aaron.
God, dude, I was blubbering
Oh,
at
I
this point.
forgot that I had this baby.
Charlie returns with the blanket, and then Kate remembers now, so she's like, She thanks him and tells him to go ahead, bring it to her.
Yeah, you take it.
And then they touch hands and he remembers everything. And she's
But
like,
he
Charlie?
already knew who she was, so I don't
he
get
didn't.
that.
He had a flash to her.
He had a flash to her that he loved her.
Of her.
That was
Yeah,
it? Okay.
That was it. That was when he was dying.
Yeah.
In death. That was when he was going to move on.
Death, because he was already dead. Double death. Hashtag double death.
And then, he remembers everything. And she's like, Charlie? And he's like, Claire. And he just starts blubbering. I almost cried just then. They remember.
Lots of tongue.
Desmond shows up and he asks if she understands. And Kate's like, yeah, so now what?
She's like, yeah, where's my happy ever after?
Right, what do I get to do? Where's Jack?
Great. Where's Sawyer? Where's Jack? Or both of them. I don't really care. She's like, who's available in this life?
Yeah, who's available in this version? In the hospital, surgery's over. Jack's neck is bleeding again.
Of course it is.
Locke is waking up, and Jack tells him not to move and to relax. And John's like, yeah, no, it worked. I can feel my legs. He wiggles his toe, and as he does that, Locke remembers. Or he flashes to the island wiggle. Again, fucking beautiful. Awesome. How the fuck did they know how did
how do they remember that? They did that 101 episodes ago.
Right. He asks if Jack saw it, and he's like, you don't remember? And then Jack flashes to the hatch. That was the coolest one. The pulling up the hatch shot, like fucking awesome. That's still some of the coolest shit of the whole show. John says they need to go. He's like, will you come with me? And John tells him he doesn't have a son. He's like, I hope that somebody does for you what you just did for me. And Jack doesn't know what he's talking about. So he's thinking, I don't need spinal surgery. Because that's what Jack just did for him. That's what Jack knows he did for him.
I hope someone heals you the way that you just healed me.
No, he's saying, I hope somebody does for you what you just did for me in terms of the flashing. So he remembered.
Oh, I see.
But Jack is probably thinking, what?
Yeah,
somebody's going to give me spinal surgery? I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah, I can already walk.
I can do that shit on myself.
Right.
Just
give me a mirror. Exactly. Sawyer comes into Sun and Jin's room, and they're like, hello, detective. He shows them a photo of Sayid, and he's like, I'm here to keep you safe. They're like, yeah, totally, we're safe already. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're good.
And they're like, we'll see you there. And he's like, see me where?
Right.
Just doesn't get it at all. I mean, why didn't Jin have a longer conversation with him then?
Right. Well, he hugged him.
Right. Sawyer and Jack pass each other, and Jack points him to the vending machine. Thanks, Doc. And then he kind of double takes at that, having said thanks, Doc. Sawyer buys an Apollo bar. Right there. And he can't quite reach it because it gets stuck. And Juliet asks if she can help him. And he says he's a cop. And she's like, maybe you should read the machine. It's rights. I mean, it was a very lovely flirting bit there. She tells him a secret to unplug it and plug it back in. And the candy falls down. And he unplugs it. And she goes, it worked.
But the whole place went dark.
Right.
It worked. Good job.
But do you remember it worked?
Yeah, the bomb.
But it didn't. The bomb didn't work.
I know.
This is what she was remembering. Juliet was dying.
She was flashing forward to meeting him again.
Yeah. So she was flashing to this conversation.
Way to go, Juliet.
And they touch and feel it. That sounds like very sexual. But they both feel the thing. And she's like, you want to get coffee sometime? He's like, I only had the $1. And she, I only have $1. And he's like, she says we can go Dutch. I'm going to cry. Juliet, he's like, Juliet, it's me. And they hug and cry and kiss me, James. You got it, Blondie.
Oh, he's crying. Yeah. Oh, my God.
I mean, you got it, Blondie.
The Blondie was really sweet. No, trust me. I mean, like, the tears were just rolling. I was like, oh, God.
I'm just having
to
reenact
Maddie,
the scene.
get out of my room. God dang it. Just leave me alone.
It worked. He wanted us to go Dutch.
They got the chocolate bar.
Everything's totally fine. Ours is not watered up. That's not a tear going down my cheek. Nope, everything's fine.
Oh, God.
So at the concert, Jack shows up after it ends. Oh, he's late. Not late. Yeah, okay. Kate is there, and she says it's over. I feel like she was talking about something else.
Do you have Man in Black and Jacob holding hands out front there?
It looks like they are.
Is that what's happening?
When it's light, when it's dark.
And Sun is kind of like about to hold Taurat's penis. Is what's happening.
About to. She already did. That's why she's got the towel to clean up.
Oh, gross.
Kate says it's over, and I feel like she was talking about this whole world.
Yeah, like, well, no. She was talking about the concert.
I know,
you missed
but
the concert.
it felt like she was saying, hey, it's over, Jack.
Yeah.
Like, she asks if he's looking for someone, and she goes, or he says his son, and he remembers her from somewhere, and she says she stole his pen on the airplane. He goes, and that's how I know you? She goes, no, Jack, that's not how I know you. Or yet not how you know me. And she touches his face and says, I missed you so much. God damn it. He doesn't understand. And then she goes, if you come with me, you will.
She was like a magician.
Yeah, she touched his face and he felt something. So at the church, Locke shows up in a cab, still wheelchairing. Ben is sitting outside and he's like, hello, Benjamin. Hello, John. Is everyone already inside? Most, yes. I'm very sorry for what I did to you, John. I was selfish, jealous, and I wanted everything you had. And he's like, what did I have? You were special, and I wasn't. If it helps Ben, I forgive you. God damn it, all these things are going to make me cry.
So good.
It's fucking ridiculous. Why did I write it in such detail? God damn it. Thank you, John. That does help. It matters more than I can say. He says he's still got some things to work out. He's going to stay a while. And Ben says, you don't need to be in that chair anymore. And then Locke stands up and says goodbye and walks inside. Hurley comes out and tells Ben to come in. And Hurley tells Ben, you were a real good number 2. And you were a great number 1. Here you go. God damn it. Stop crying. Oh, ridiculous. I mean, there's such touching moments
there was
that were these were the payoffs for the whole fucking show.
The whole show. It was really great.
Ben got his redemption by being a number 2 on the island. Number 2. Yeah, he got to be Richard Alpert.
But who's the number 1 now?
Walt.
Okay.
And then obviously his number 2 is Ji-yeon or Aaron.
What? Ever. That would be so dumb.
I want to watch that show.
No, it's Kimi because he's undead.
It's Kimi.
He double died, so he undied.
Fuck. Okay. So Jack arrives with Kate, and she asks if he knows where they are. He says I was going to have my father's funeral, and she brought him here because this is where he's going to have his father's funeral.
Oh, I thought she said, I brought you here because this is where you were going to have your father's funeral.
No, where you're going to have it.
Oh, I see.
She tells him to go around back, and she'll be waiting for him inside when he's ready. He's like, for what? To leave. So Jack walks in the back. He goes into an office with lots of religious stuff in there. Like did you see the stained glass that had multiple different religion signs on there? He sees the coffin, and then we get one more Jack hand on head shot as he circles the coffin.
Yeah.
He touches it and flashes, and then he opens the coffin and it's empty. We hear, hey, kiddo. Christian is there, and he's like, Dad? Now this I translated word for word.
Okay.
It's like, hello, Jack. And he's like, I don't understand. You died. He's like, yes, I did. He's like, then how are you here right now? And the Christian's like, how are you here? He's like, I died too. And he's like, it's okay, son. They say they love each other. Jack asks if Christian is real. And he's like, yeah, I'm real. You're real. Everything that's ever happened to you is real. All those people in the church are real too. And he's like, they're all dead. He's like, everyone dies sometime, kiddo. Some before you, some long after you. This was the fucking explanation of the whole show to all you assholes that think they were dead the whole time.
They weren't, no, but...
I'm real. You're real. Everything that's ever happened to you is real. All those people in the church are real too. Everyone, everyone dies sometime, kiddo. Some before you, some long after you. And he's like, well, why are they all here now? And he's like, well, there is no now here. Jack asks where they are, and he's like, it's a place you all made together so you could find one another. This part is the most important explanation. The most important part of your life was the time you spent with these people. That's why you're all here. Nobody does it alone, Jack. You needed them and they needed you. And he's like, for what? To remember and to let go. And he's like, Kate said we were leaving. And he's like, not leaving so much as moving on. And he's like, where are we going? And he's like, let's go find out. So everyone in the church is hugging. Locke and Jack shake hands. We've been waiting for you.
So Christian died forever ago on the island.
2004.
Okay.
He died in Sydney.
And he got to hang out all this time.
But it's
and
that.
wait for them.
But it was like that to them. To him.
To him?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't... Well, I guess he wasn't really enjoying his time on the island because
Right.
he wasn't...
It wasn't him.
It was Man in Black.
Right.
Okay.
So Desmond and Penny are there. Boone, Hurley, Libby,
But
Shannon,
no Charlie.
Sayid. Yes. Sawyer.
No,
Claire.
little Charlie.
No, correct. Right.
Anna Lucia wasn't there.
Because
she's a bitch.
Because that's why I said that's the most important part. The most important part of your life was the time you spent with these people.
So they didn't have kids yet?
They didn't. Charlie wasn't born yet. Ji Yan wasn't born yet.
Remember...
Aaron was born. He was part of
Jack's
this.
son disappearing in this part. I don't remember him actually just disappearing, though.
What do you mean? He just ceased to exist anymore after the concert.
Oh. So they just went to the church and then his son wasn't there anymore?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't
I don't
there
remember
when
him
Jack
like,
went to the concert.
Dad, and fading away.
No, that didn't happen. It's entirely possible. No, it's not. I was going to say David went with Juliet, but that's not possible either. He didn't exist. He was a construct.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, but so, yeah, again, Aaron is the only kid there because he's the only kid that was part of all this stuff.
Yes.
That most important part of their lives. Sun, Jin, Kate. Jack and Kate hold hands and sit down. We see Rose and Bernard, Juliet and Sawyer, and then Christian touches Jack's shoulder, then walks out the door into the light, and the church fills with light, and that's the end.
It was really good.
I was like, where is the new man in charge? And I was like, oh yeah, we saw that already.
Yeah.
That all happened before that. I mean...
Loved it.
Yeah, that's all I can say. I mean, I don't know that we'll never do another podcast because maybe there's another Lost edit. That's not the full series. I don't want to do that. But maybe there's something... Like I said, the Lost mini-series thing is like 4 episodes. That might be worth doing. I'll watch one and see if it's any good.
Okay.
And if it's something new... Again, it's not going to be new.
It can't be new.
Right.
Same episodes.
It just has to be framed differently, which might be interesting. That's all.
Are they going to... Wide angle?
Yeah. So, I don't know what else to say, really.
I know. Thanks for listening or not.
Or watching.
Or watching or
for
not.
101 episodes.
Don't care if my voice is still shrill and annoying.
Oh, God, it still is so shrill and annoying. The person that made that comment, if they're still listening.
If you're still listening, congratulations.
I mean, you know what? Fine. We'll take shrill and annoying if you watched 101 episodes.
Right.
Jenna will be joining me on How to Watch TV Game of Thrones for the final season with Jeremy. We're going to do a
I don't watch that show.
3-person podcast. Okay, shut up. And then I'm sure we'll find something else to talk about at some point in the future.
I mean,
I don't want to commit to another 100-episode show necessarily, but there might be something that would be worth us discussing.
There's plenty of stuff to watch.
The Joel Henderson show will come back if and when I ever have a house again.
What's that?
What? A house?
Yeah.
Ugh. Not something I am in possession of.
We finished this show in 2 different places.
Right.
We made it work.
Ugh. It's
exciting. And your new sign.
Yes, I got this new sign from Jeremy. He made up for not doing anything last Christmas for me.
When I
made him cry. No, I made him cry with the little Sebastian shirt and stuff. We both he looked at me and he goes, I don't know why we both started welling up at that.
I got Joel these pop figures, even though everybody hates pop figures because they're the worst.
They are the worst. I hate pop figures. But Lost Pop.
Look at how cute they are.
Yeah, that's
Look at Sawyer. Oh my God, he's adorable.
I could call Sawyer back in here to tell us how it's violent and offensive, but I find that violent and offensive. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we finished it in
less time than the episode.
How many years did it take us?
Oh, we started October 2015.
Yeah, so two years and
2 months.
2 months, 3 months.
It probably would have been just about 2 years if we hadn't taken breaks. If there hadn't been the miscellaneous week.
We did. There were several weeks where we podcasted twice in a week to make up for me going on vacations.
Oh, no, not that. Like,
we
I
got
was
lazy
in the hospital.
the past 3 months. We really did.
Yeah,
because it was like, well,
there's no rush.
We don't really have to.
There's 100 other episodes to watch.
I wanted to finish it before 2018, so we're good.
No, we nailed that.
I feel like I don't know what I'm going to do with this
29th.
extra 3 hours of my life every week. It's going to be like this Whew, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going
right.
to do with my time.
I'm sure you'll schedule something.
I'll schedule a lot.
Okay. Well, follow me on Twitter at Comeuppance or at Comeuppance on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. At Comeuppance on YouTube. All of those things.
Don't follow me.
Okay. See you later.
This is how to watch TV.
I'm saying it again. See you later.
Bye.
All these memories in my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.